hard. And people need to be very careful, and I'm talking state's attorneys, I'm talking sheriffs in jails, I'm talking the director of the Department of Corrections needs to be very careful how they react on all of this, or they might find themselves locked up.
Illinois State Senator Terry Bryant reacting to the Trump administration's Department of Justice filing their latest court filing, saying that the motion from the state of Illinois, Cook County, and Chicago to dismiss the challenge that the federal government's brought against the state's migrant sanctuary policies should be denied. Welcome back. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. I know there's a lot of words there, but essentially what's going on here is the court case against the state's sanctuary policies continues with the U.S. Department of Justice saying that the federal judge should deny the state's request to dismiss the case. We talked about this yesterday. I was at the Statehouse yesterday also and getting a reaction to what's going on here. So we were the first to report that yesterday morning. So it's one reason why you should wake up with us each and every weekday morning to get the latest. But you saw the story go out yesterday afternoon after I got some reaction from various legislators, and you can watch that at thecentersquare.com. Again, get the newsletter every morning in your inbox. So let's just go through this a little bit because some of the quotes from the actual filing you'll find here, and you can read the actual filing. Go to the story down at the bottom. You can download that PDF and read that for yourself. So let's just go through this because some interesting points made by the Department of Justice. They say that Illinois' migrant sanctuary policies allow criminally illegal aliens to move freely throughout the United States, inflicting harm on victims who would have been averted had they been detained. So the DOJ filed that lawsuit shortly after Pam Bondi took office as the U.S. Attorney General. When yesterday I was at the Capitol, I asked State Senator Robert Peters and State Senator Javier Carvantes about where we're at in this overall conversation. Now, this was during an unrelated news conference where they were discussing various bills to help out those experiencing mental illness. And here's what they had to say on my off-topic question. I was sure to, make all the other reporters that had questions about on-topic, get those in, and then I had an off-topic question. And it was a question just simply about, hey, they pushed back against the state saying to dismiss the case. What's your guys' thoughts on where we're at in this conversation about sanctuary jurisdictions going up against the Trump administration? Here's Senator Peters.
The main thing from to answer on this question, I'll just say this is mostly about insurance. I say what we've seen over the last couple of months from this new administration has been embarrassing for many of us trying to get work done at the state. It's embarrassed us on the international stage. I would really hope the new administration focuses on the working people of Illinois instead of playing these political games with people's lives. At the end of the day, that's what matters most, is making sure that working people have what they need. That's why we're talking about healthcare, and that's why healthcare comes first and foremost. Thank you.
And then Senator Peters leaves the briefing room, and Senator Cervantes goes in.
A little bit. It's like we're here to, unfortunately have to be on the defense a little bit, and we're here to protect our families. And I understand these are the challenges that we've had. We have a great Progressive Caucus group. We have 17 members, and we always are looking at what's coming out of Washington to figure out what we could do here to continue to basically be on defense, right? To try to protect these families, whether it comes to work authorization issues, when it comes to E-Verify, I-9, all that stuff that's going to be happening. We're doing our best right now here to look at what's happening and then build those policies to protect and be on the defense, because we have to. That's what we're here for. So unfortunately, they're going to continue to come. This is just a couple months into the administration. We have a few more years left, but we were going to. I want the people of Illinois and our immigrant community to understand that we're here to be on the defense as much as possible.
So again, that's Senator Javier Cervantes from Chicago, Democrat in the Illinois General Assembly, reacting to where we're at in this conversation about the lawsuits of the U.S. Department of Justice suing the states, saying that the state's sanctuary policies that essentially say state and local police cannot cooperate with federal law enforcement to enforce immigration law if it's only a civil detainer order. That means that sheriffs can't communicate as much as they want to. They can't communicate to ICE because they would be violating state law. So they can't tell ICE, hey, we've got somebody here that's in our jail as a non-citizen, come get them. And that's clearly a point of frustration for Republicans at the State House, but also now with the Republican administration, the Department of Justice. In its filing, the DOJ said that Illinois' migrant sanctuary policies work an extraordinary assault on the federal government's enforcement of the immigration laws at a time when the United States is facing a national emergency from unprecedented illegal entry of aliens into the country. Illinois' state and local migrant sanctuary policies preempted by the Immigration and Nationality Act, the DOJ writes, because they stand as an obstacle to achieving the full purpose, the objective of the act. Now, in their motion to dismiss the case last month, the state of Illinois said the DOJ's case is misguided. They bring up the 10th Amendment, saying that federal law preserves Illinois' sovereign right to opt out of assisting federal immigration agents with their civil enforcement actions. That is what Illinois has done through the statutes, the Trust Act and the Way Forward Act. The DOJ argued in their filing earlier this week that migrant sanctuary policies prohibit state and local law enforcement cooperation that impedes congressionally sanctioned and authorized federal immigration law. The DOJ says under the 10th Amendment, Congress must exercise its legislative power over individuals directly and may not commandeer states into enacting a federal regulatory program. But under the Supremacy Clause, when federal law and state conflict, federal law prevails and the state law is preempted, they argue. So here we are. How do we move forward here? State Senator Terry Bryant was asked to respond to State Senator Cervantes when I connected with her yesterday at the Capitol, and we're just outside the Senate chambers before they go into session, and said, hey, the Democrats say they're just going to have to continue to craft laws in Illinois that protect these non-migrant or these non-citizen migrant populations. Here's what Republican Senator Bryant had to say.
Well, I think that this time President Trump has his legs under him, and I think that the Progressive Caucus is going to find out that it's a new day in Illinois, and the harder they push, they're going to come up against a guy who's not going to be pushed around in President Trump. And I think they're going to find out that this DOJ under this president is going to push back very hard. And people need to be very careful, and I'm talking state's attorneys, I'm talking sheriffs in jails, I'm talking the director of the Department of Corrections needs to be very careful how they react on all of this, or they might find themselves locked up.
Now, to the overall situation, Bryant talked about a little bit of the history, the opposition that some Republicans had against all of this from the beginning, and how she believes that the Pritzker administration is going to get slapped down.
So you may remember that I was in the House when the original bill was passed, even under Governor Rauner, and argued that it was unconstitutional. Even though Governor Pritzker expanded way beyond where Governor Rauner was, I've always argued that what Illinois is doing in regard to illegal aliens coming into Illinois is unconstitutional. It is a sanctuary state. Chicago is a sanctuary city. I'm glad that the DOJ is pushing back, and I think that in time, all of this stuff takes a little bit of time, and we are only 2 months in to the Trump administration. I think that the Pritzker administration is going to get smacked down hard.
It's State Senator Terry Bryant there. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. Wake up with us each and every weekday morning, and we'll continue to keep you posted on what's going on with that story as we get the details in. And obviously, you can stay abreast to the situation by going to thecentersquare.com throughout the day and see what's breaking there. You can also follow me on X. Just search Bishop on Air. Go ahead and give the Center Square a follow on X as well. Get the newsletter in your inbox, the podcast, the news clips, all of it. Just search the Center Square. All right? Make it happen.